Hello, my dear students and viewers. Welcome to my channel, Scorpio class. In this video, we are going to discuss Class 10, Second Language English, Supplementary Chapter, Narayanpur Incidents, Question and Answers. This lesson is written by Sashi Deshpande, and the explanation of this chapter has been already uploaded in my channel, and the I button of the same link will be shared. If you wish to watch the explanation video, you can click on the I button and look for the entire explanation. Now let's get started with the question and answers. But before that, if you are new to my channel and watching my video for the first time, do subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so that you get the notifications of all the upcoming videos. So let's get started with the question and answers. These are from your textbooks. So very first question here is, why had the students been marching? How was it an unusual march? Answer. A teacher in Narayanpur was arrested during the Quit India movement. He was the follower of Mahatma Gandhi. Narayanpur was a small town. The teacher's wife, sons, daughter, and most of the youngsters believed in a different form of resistance to the British. So they all decided to show their protest against British rule. So they marched. It was unusual because they marched in complete silence. There was no slogans, no shouts, etc. Okay, so this we are talking about Narayanpur incident, which is a pre-independent incident, you can say, where India had started its freedom fight, and here under the rule or the leadership of under the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, we had various movements, and one of the movement was Quit India movement, during which even a small village, a small town was also affected. And this is a small example in a form of story, which is in the chapter which we are talking about today. So even in a small town, a teacher who was a great influence, who was greatly influenced by Mahatma Gandhi, was also in this fight, in this struggle against British. So he was taken as he was arrested, and here his wife, son, and daughters, and other youngsters, they believed that they still need to resist to the British in a different way. So they were protesting against the British rule, but they marched in complete silence, no slogans, no shouts, and no harms and no atrocities were done. It was a silent and a calm peace march. As they were the follower of Mahatma Gandhi, so they followed a peace march. So this is what the students, this is what the answer here. I hope students have understood. So let's move to the second one. A police officer was seen talking to the student leaders. Can you guess what the officer had been talking to them? Answer. The police officer, the DSP, must have asked them about the purpose of their procession to the collector's office. So question is, there was a police officer who was talking to students, student leaders. So you have to guess what would the officer had been talking to them. So probably the answer is the officer, that is the DSP, he must have asked the students about the purpose of their procession. Why are they having this procession towards the collector's office? So this was the discussion maybe which was going on between police officer and the student leaders. So this is your answer. Now moving to third question. Babu and Manju were a bit disappointed with the way students were marching. What was the reason? Now Babu and Manju again are the children of teacher who was arrested. Now they were a bit disappointed with the way the students were marching. So what was the reason? You need to write. So answer. Babu and Manju are a little bit disappointed because the march ended peacefully. There were no slogans, no shouting, and no violence. Okay, so the purpose of being disappointed was that that was a peaceful march. It ended very peacefully. There were no slogans or shouting or any violence in it. So these children, they were small, they were kid, and they were very eager to see how a march is, how violently it goes. They were expecting lots of violence there, but here it was nothing of such. So they were a bit disappointed. So this is the answer. I hope it's clear. Let's go to next one. What had the police expected about the way of protest? How did the student leaders manage the protest? Okay, so even police had expected that there would be some kind of protest. So what were the expectation that we have to write? And how did the student leaders manage the protest? So it's again from your lesson. So let's see the answer. The police had expected the protest to be violent. Had the protest been violent, the police would have had the reason to beat up the students and haul them to jail. But the students knew that they had to accomplish a lot by being outside the jail. So they surprised the police by being totally peaceful and not giving the police any chance to arrest them. Thus, we see that the student leaders managed the crisis beautifully by turning the tables on the police. Okay, so answer is yes, the police had expected that the protest would be violent and there would be lots of fight and chaos, and they would get a excuse or a reason to arrest this children and student and put them in the jail. But the students knew it that they need to be outside the jail and they need to work on their freedom movement. So they led a very peaceful march, which even led the police to be in surprise. And thus we see here that how well the student leaders managed this crisis, this protest very beautifully, and they turned the tables on the police. Means whatever was expected by the police, that there will be lots of protests and will be able to arrest many of the student and student leaders, but it was vice versa. It did not happen, and police they were not able to arrest anybody because the procession went very calmly and peacefully. So this is the answer. Now let's see the next question. What was there in the mysterious parcel? What suspicion did the police have about that? So there was one parcel which is mentioned in the chapter which was bought in the teacher's home. So what was that? And what suspicion did the police have about that? Like what did the police think that that parcel would be? So let's see the answer. There was a cyclo-styling machine in the mysterious parcel. The police suspected that copies of Mahatma's speech were being made for circulation using the machine. They also suspected that some people were hiding there. Okay, so the parcel was about a cyclo-styling machine. Now, this cyclo-styling machine is a machine which makes the duplicate copy of the paper, as we say now as Xerox machine in the modern terms. So previously it was cyclo-styling machine which was used to duplicate the copies of the papers. So here police suspected that these copies were Mahatma's speech. They would be circulated among the people, the entire speech. So they wanted to stop it, and they also had a doubt and they suspected that some people were hiding in this house or in that place. So they were suspicious about it and they could have put a raid in the house. So this is all about this answer. Okay, let's move to the next one. Why had Patel, the sub-inspector, come to Mohan's house? Who believed him? What was the result? So, as we discussed in the last question, there was some parcel and police had some suspicion on them. So here, yes, they did raided the home. So the Patel was the name of the sub-inspector. He came to Mohan's house. And what happened there? Who believed and what was the result of it? So answer. Patil, the sub-inspector, had come to Mohan's house to help them because he cared for his old classmate, whom he considered his friend. Amma believed him and smuggled out the cyclo-styling machine with him. Suman also left the place as the police doubted that the teacher's family had people hiding in the house. It was fortunate for the family that Amma believed Patil and did as he instructed them to do because the same night the police raided the house. Their raid turned out to be useless because of the timely help of Patil. Okay, so yes, there was a police inspector, sub-inspector Patil, who came to Mohan's house, but this inspector and this police was friend of Mohan's father. Okay, so he came here to help them. So who believed here? It was Amma who believed him, and she gave away the cyclo-styling machine, and she submitted it to him. And then Suman, who was an unknown person, or you can say a friend or a member of the group who was protesting in the Narayanpur incident movement, even she was hiding in this place. So she was also asked to leave the place, and she left the house. And it was fortunate for the family. They were very lucky enough because Amma believed all these things what Patil had said, and did as he instructed them to do, because the same night there was police who put the raid in the house, and there was a complete check which was done in the house, and the raid turned out to be useless because of the timely help of the Patil, because of which they did not find even the cyclostyling machine nor anybody who was hiding in the house. So this is how it helped them, and this was the result. Now let's move to the next question. What do you think is the writer of Narayanpur incident trying to impress upon the readers? What is the purpose of writing this? So let's see the answer. This incident was most common during 1942. This gives bravery, truthfulness, patriotism, etc. It teaches a lesson to readers. If youngsters during their school time read this type of incident, they may cultivate these qualities. The writer's intention is to show the good virtues. Okay, so this incident, as discussed earlier, was most common during 1942. It's a pre-independent era where the fight was already on, but they had not reached to that extent. So this was common during those days, but this gives the lesson of bravery, truthfulness, and patriotism. It teaches every reader who read this chapter. And if youngsters are reading this during their school time, they get these qualities in them. They can cultivate these qualities in them. So this was the intention of the writer, to show the good virtues and the values, to inculcate it in the readers. Okay, so this is about the answer. Now we have some extra question answers for you, which is not from your textual section, but yes, it is from your chapter, and which is again going to be important from your exam point of view. So first extra question here is, how do you know that Mohan's mother was supportive of their struggle? How do you know that? Yes, Mohan's mother did support them in the struggle. So answer is, Mohan's mother used the puja room to hide the cyclo-styling machine. She also allowed someone to hide in the house. From the conversation between Mohan and Mohan's mother, it is clear that she advised them on what to do and what not to do. Okay, so the answer is yes, the mother did help them, and she supported them, because it's seen in the lesson that she helped to hide the cyclostyling machine in her puja room, and she also allowed Suman to hide in her house. And the conversation which is going on in the chapter, if you go through it, you can get to know that yes, Mohan's mother was supportive, as she advised them on what actions to be taken and what not to do. Okay, so this is the answer for this. Now next question is, how did the student leaders manage the protest? Why did they do so? So again, this is a kind of twisted and repeated question, but the question is framed in a different manner, which we have already seen earlier. So the question is, how did the students manage the protest? How was it going on? And why did they do so? Why did they manage to have that kind of protest? So answer is, the student leaders had a unique way of protesting. They were totally silent as they marched up to the collector's office. They were indifferent to the police who walked in front, behind, and at the sides of them. Although they held up banners, they shouted the slogan Mahatma Gandhi ki Jai only once. That was after submitting the notice to be served to the collector, asking His Majesty's government to either quit India or face the consequences. Okay, so yes, the answer is that the student leaders had their unique way, the special way of protesting. This protest had no chaos, no harm, no injuries, and no violence. It was totally silent, and silently they marched up to the collector's office. It was different for the police. It was indifferent for the police because they just were walking front and in the back, and at all the sides of them. But even though they were having the banners, they shouted only once that the slogan, and that slogan was Mahatma Gandhi ki Jai. And they shouted the slogan only after submitting the notice, which was to be served by the collector, asking and requesting them to either quit India or be ready to face the consequences. Then they might have more number of processions and they may go against them. So this is how you write the answer. So these were two extra questions from this chapter. I hope this video was informative and helpful for you all. If you like the video, do hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. And stay tuned for more such videos. Thank you.